Hello and thanks for joining us on this Thursday afternoon. I'm Jurnee Taylor and here's a look at the top stories we're following today. First, a shooting at an Iowa high school leaves multiple people injured. We take a look at this developing story as it continues to unfold. Plus, a father and son arrested in the murder of a pregnant Texas teen and her boyfriend. Now, a look at the motive that police say led to a tragedy around the holidays. And throughout the state, many school districts are adopting a new program aiming to protect children by connecting educators with law enforcement. More on those headlines soon, but first a look at weather. Looking like a typical winter day today, but we are expecting some changes. Let's bring in meteorologist Nathan Scott for the latest. Nathan, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Jurnee. It feels like it could snow at any moment out there here in central Arkansas with that layer of clouds blanking Little Rock and off to the northeast. You can see them creeping in their way in here from the northeast. Sunshine down to the south playing a huge role in the temperatures. It is chilly out there this afternoon, but these clouds are not producing any precipitation at this time. The next system still way out into New Mexico, but that's what's headed our way to close out the work week on Friday. So here's what you can expect. It is going to be the Ozarks, the higher elevations that will likely see snow with a light accumulation, certainly a possibility. We're going to be on the battle zone here from Mena, Hot Springs, Little Rock, Searcy up through Jonesboro. What does that mean? That means we're going to have some rain mixed in with some snowflakes, and it could be snowing quite a bit. You may see some big flakes out there, but the temperatures should stay above freezing. So it may be snowing quite a bit, but a lot of that will melt once it reaches the ground. Then down to the south, it's just a cold rain from Texarkana, Camden, Pine Bluff, Monticello towards the east. Here's how one model sees things. Look at the temperatures. They get close to the freezing mark to begin your Friday, and that's why we are expecting the chance of snow. All that blue, that is the model saying it's going to snow there. The white, that's where it's saying there could be some moderate snow at times. I'll show you more coming up as we go into the full forecast, but today's highs, they're only climbing up into the low to mid 40s.
Well, we begin with breaking news. Authorities in Iowa are investigating a shooting at a high school about 40 miles northwest of Des Moines. Police confirmed multiple people were hurt, but have not provided any details on how many and the extent of their injuries. The shooter has been identified, but police did not say whether they are dead or alive. However, authorities say there is no further danger to the public at this time. We will continue to keep you updated as more details become available. And new at noon, a hearing on the lawsuit involving the Board of Corrections and Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders has been delayed after the courthouse was evacuated due to a bomb threat. The threat came in during the opening statements of the hearing this morning. Drama between the board and the Sanders administration began with a fight over adding prison beds and then turned into lawsuits against each other. Today, we're expecting board members to testify, excluding newest member Brandon Tollett. Governor Sanders picked him to replace Whitney Gass, whose term expired last week. TV 11's Sarah Hobakowitz is currently covering the hearing. She says they have been cleared to go back inside the courtroom and that hearing will pick up back at 1 o'clock. She will provide more information tonight at 5. Also new at noon, a father-son duo now behind bars in connection to the deadly shooting of a pregnant teen and her boyfriend in Texas. The pair went missing just days before she was scheduled to have her labor induced. CBS's Jared Hill has the latest.
1 week after a Christmas-time tragedy, a son and his father in handcuffs.
You don't even know what's going on.
Ramon Preciado to reporters late Tuesday. His 19-year-old son, Christopher, is facing capital murder charges. The 53-year-old charged with abuse of a corpse. The arrests in connection to the deaths of pregnant 18-year-old Savannah Soto and her 22-year-old boyfriend, Matthew Guerra.
Christopher, we believe, committed the murders of Matthew and Savannah. It appears to be a narcotic-related deal that went bad.
I'm just praying to God. That's all I can do is pray.
The couple was reported missing in late December, then found shot to death in Guerra's car several days later. Police released this surveillance video last week showing two persons of interest, one driving Guerra's car very close to where the bodies were found. A local nonprofit volunteered to help with burial costs for the mother-to-be and her unborn son.
We'll be doing our 49th and 50th burial when we help with Savannah and Fabian.
The couple's disappearance just one day before Soto was scheduled to be induced.
We thought we were going to be growing as a family in 2024.
Now, 3 lives cut short. Jared Hill, CBS News.
In a THV 11 update, we learn more about the death of a Stone County deputy. Sadly, Deputy Justin Smith died Tuesday while on duty serving an arrest warrant. According to state police, Tuesday afternoon, Deputy Justin Smith went to serve a misdemeanor warrant to this man, 52-year-old Clifton Hefton. Police say Hefton resisted the arrest, then shot and killed him. So he is now being held at the Cleveland County Detention Center. Ashley Smith is Deputy Justin Smith's oldest son, and he spoke to us about how their family is holding up and his father, saying his dad loved being an officer.
Right now we're just kind of all still in shock a little bit about how this could have happened. He loved that job. He loved helping people in this county. And so we are very proud of him.
We've all been grieving over this. He was just a good guy all around.
Well, Arkansas State Police continues the investigation of the shooting and the death while Hefton is being held without bond. Now, in another THV update, we're hearing from the Department of Defense in response to Arkansas Governor Sarah Huckabee Sanders. Earlier this week, Sanders criticized the program funding travel for military personnel to get abortions. The Deputy Pentagon Press Secretary has since responded, saying it's not actually an abortion policy, but rather a travel policy ensuring equal access to reproductive health care. Sanders claims that the policy led Colonel Dylan Patterson to resign from the Air National Guard's 188th Wing after he was forced to choose between his religious beliefs on abortion and his job. In response to that, the Pentagon says if a commander is uncomfortable approving requests, they can refer them up the chain of command. United Healthcare and Baptist Health have failed to reach an agreement on insurance coverage. That means Baptist providers and hospitals are now out of network for most United Health customers. United says proposed rate increases from Baptist would have driven up premiums and out-of-pocket costs for its customers to an unreasonable amount. On the other end, Baptist says it has continued to work on its cost management, but it's not enough to overcome the growing external cost pressures due to inflation. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas is pushing back against Republican critics who say he is purposely failing to manage the southern border. Attempted border crossings reached an all-time high in December. The White House has asked Congress for nearly $14 billion for resources to process a surge of asylum seekers. A bipartisan group of senators and the White House are trying to broker a compromise to combine that funding with policy changes. In an interview on CBS Mornings, Mayorkas says he has no time to play politics.
And what we are doing is enforcing our laws. And when people come to the United States at the border, they are placed in immigration enforcement proceedings. And those proceedings take many years because our system is broken and it is also underfunded.
Speaker Johnson is trying to impeach Mayorkas. The first committee hearing on impeachment is scheduled for next week. A new project rolling out in some Arkansas schools this year is connecting educators and law enforcement. Project Protect Arkansas Youth is a program whose goal is to identify and help students who may have been through a traumatic event outside the classroom. To participate, both the school district and local law enforcement have to agree to a trauma response training. All of this aimed at helping students thrive from understanding rather than punishment and increase overall safety.
Our kids are our future. When you think about those things that are going to have a lasting impact, you know, it's through our kids.
So far, 7 districts and police departments have joined since the fall season. And with a positive start, the criminal justice system hopes more districts will enroll down the line. And help will soon be available for Arkansans struggling to pay the high cost of keeping their homes heated. Starting on Monday, you can apply for the Low-Income Home Energy Assistance Program, also known as LIHEAP. The Central Arkansas Development Council will keep applications open until March 22nd. The program will continue until they run out of funding. Well, many people have heard the term pets are expensive. But coming up, we'll see how one couple's experience with their dog takes that phrase quite literally. Nathan?
Did they keep that dog after doing that? That thing be going to the pound, I think. All right, we're talking about winter weather is expected for parts of Arkansas on our Friday. I'll let you know who could see some impacts coming up.